everybody. Welcome to Phil and Dave's Excellent Adventures. Just Dave here. Today we're talking about the movie Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. This is going to be a spoiler review, so if you are concerned about spoilers, I would suggest you go and watch the movie first before you watch this review. Bodies, Bodies, Bodies is a dark comedy horror film about a group of rich 20-somethings who go to a party, get stuck there because of a storm, and, well, dead bodies start showing up. So, as far as what I liked about the movie, I thought Lee Pace in there on the other side over here was good as the older kind of guy. I forget his name already, but yeah, I thought he was good. I know him from Pushing Daisies, and he played Ronan the Accuser in the first Guardians of the Galaxy, and I think he was in Captain Marvel too. I like him. He's a good actor, and I thought he was good in this movie. I thought Sui Wonders as Emma did a pretty good job as well. She's over on the far side over here. And I thought Amandla Stenberg and Maria Bakalova were pretty good. Overall, okay. Most of the shots were in focus. I'd say a good 75% of the shots in this movie were in focus and not blurry. So that's good. There was part of the score that I kind of liked, just like a little bit, until other stuff came in, but part of the score I kind of liked. And the storyline is comprehensible. It makes sense. I could follow what was going on. So yeah, as far as what I disliked about the movie, well, pretty much everything. I really did not like this movie. The opening scene shows Maria Bakalova and Amandla Stenberg, and they're kissing. Cool, sets the tone. We understand they're a lesbian couple, and I guess the point is supposed to be like, hey, this is a different kind of movie. This is a lesbian movie. But then it's, to me, it goes on. It's a little gratuitous. It goes on a little too long. One girl says she has to pee, so then she like sticks her hand in her crotch. Again, I don't get it. I understand it's supposed to be like this lesbian movie, and like, oh, it's different or whatever, but it's still very male gaze to me. Like I don't understand the point of that scene or those characters exactly. The opening song that's playing as they're driving down the car is legitimately one of the worst things I've ever heard in my entire life. And I'm not just talking about music. It sounds worse than the screams of a dying person who is being tortured to death. It is the most inane, annoying, stupid, repetitive song I've ever heard. I don't even know what song it is, and I'm not going to bother looking it up because I want to try to forget it. It was traumatic, and I think I might need counseling afterward. I'm obviously overreacting, but it was really, really annoying and really, really bad. The characters in this movie. I hated every single character in this movie, with the exception of Lee Pace's character. I thought he was actually pretty cool. Everybody else in this movie is so unbelievably unlikable. I don't think I've ever seen a movie with such unlikable characters. And I realized that was supposed to be the point, but like, usually you have at least one character who is likable. Like, that's the point. And I think they were trying to. I think this Maria Bakalova's character was supposed to be likable, but she murdered somebody in cold blood. So why would we like her? The performances were hit or miss, mostly fine, mostly okay, honestly. Some of them weren't so good. Whenever Amandla Stenberg laughed, it just seemed very fake. It was the kind of thing where like she's laughing, but her eyes don't look like she's laughing. That was weird. And then Rachel Sennott, who is over on this side over here in the glow things, I found her character just very annoying, and just her acting just annoying. Just every line she said was just really annoying. And I realized the character's supposed to be on drugs, and they're supposed to be young, and they're supposed to be rich, and they're supposed to be annoying. But yeah, they were very, very, very annoying. The movie is badly directed. There's too much shaky cam for me. And there's times where it kind of makes sense to use shaky cam. You're building suspense. Characters don't know what's going on. It's crazy. But then there's other times where it's shaky cam for no good reason whatsoever. Shaky cam is very annoying. I wish this trend would stop. I don't know why, if you're filming a scene where characters are just sitting in a room talking, you feel the need to have it handheld and shaking all over the place. I don't know. The dialogue is just terrible. The story also terrible. I read that it was written by a couple women, it was directed by a woman, so I was really curious to see like what their perspective on a horror movie was. But to me, the dialogue read like it was written by middle-aged guys. It read like people who think that's the way that this generation talks. And I'm not part of Gen Z. I don't exactly know how they talk, but I don't think they talk like this. I don't think they're this vapid or this stupid. I don't think women just walk around calling each other bitch. That may have been something that they used to do like back in the 90s, but even then that was sort of a jokey, ironic thing. And it's what's supposed to be here too. But like, I don't know. To me, the dialogue just came across as not realistic at all. And just not, it was written like somebody who had never spoken to a human being before. It was like Tommy Wiseau level dialogue. We're just so insipid and so stupid that I can't imagine anyone would write this and think it was good. It's so confusing to me. A lot of stuff just doesn't make sense. At one point, after a couple hours, they've been hanging out there. B, I think's her name, the Maria Bakalova, asked where the bathroom is. She hasn't been to the bathroom yet. You've been there for hours. You haven't been to the bathroom, and you didn't think to ask. And there's only one bathroom in this giant house. Okay, fine. They go to play this bodies game. They don't really explain the rules. You know, they kind of do quickly, like, oh, you touch body, but then they don't explain how the game is played, what the point of the game is, how you win, any of that kind of stuff. And they could have very easily just said, it's werewolf or mafia. It's like those games. And even later, Lee Pace's character makes a reference to werewolf, which is not acknowledged by anyone else. But yes, again, that would make sense. Someone go, oh, so it's like werewolf. And they go, yeah, kind of, but we slap each other in the face first and then take a shot. Whatever. They're doing drugs, which again, nothing against drugs. Drugs are awesome. I'm a big fan of drugs. Do drugs as much as possible. But the only time you maybe shouldn't be doing drugs is when people start dying. That's just like the one time, man. Any other time, do drugs all you want. The second a dead body shows up, stop doing drugs. This is day one stuff, man. I shouldn't have to explain this to anybody. So there's a point where B goes in the car and checks her makeup and then leaves the mirror down. And I will say, hey, good example for the movie giving you a setup and a payoff. You know, they show you, oh, she left the mirror down. And you go, oh, that's going to kill the battery on her car. That's going to come back later. And cool. The reason you can tell that, though, is because they hold on that shot for forever, for so long. How stupid do they think we are that you need to hold on that shot for a solid 2 minutes? I don't know how long it was, but for way, way, way too long to show like this is going to come up again later. And how stupid is this character that she would leave the light on? Again, I understand it has to happen for the movie to happen and people make mistakes. And I've left my light on before, too. It's happened. But like, it just irritated me because at this point I'm like, if you're that dumb that you're going to go in someone else's car, pull down the mirror to check your makeup and then leave it down. Very rude thing to do, by the way. You deserve to die as far as I'm concerned. I don't care about you anymore. You're an idiot. Stop it. Like I said, killing Lee Pace's character was frustrating because he was the only character who I liked, and he did not need to die, and he did not deserve to die, and he did nothing to justify his death. And then the person who killed him was B, who is the one person who we're supposed to like in this movie. So why would you take the one character who we're supposed to like and make her violently kill somebody in cold blood? What was the point of that? They're constantly arguing and bickering. I realize that's the point. They're supposed to be terrible people, but I don't want to watch an hour and 45 minutes of a bunch of people arguing and bickering about stupid things that have no consequence. Who is this movie for? Who would enjoy this? I'm so they got caught up in relationship drama in the midst of a murder. Again, I realize they did this on purpose. It's supposed to show how bad these people are, but like, I guess I was just hoping for something better, for something smarter, for something more insightful than just, oh, these are terrible people who only care about themselves. And even when people are dead and they just murdered somebody, they're more upset about whether their boyfriend or girlfriend cheated on them. There's a podcast joke that shows up at the end that, again, I just thought was really stupid. Because again, nobody cares about your podcast, and the fact that, you know, somebody hate listening to another person's podcast. But again, I know that they were trying to make a point here. I know it's supposed to be a dark comedy, but I just did not like the execution of this at all. I think this movie was basically the embodiment of what boomers think TikTok is, or what boomers think Gen Z is. It was just a terrible, ugly representation of them. And the thing that bothers me is I know people who are in Gen Z, and they're smart, and they're kind, and they're insightful, and they're caring people. I'm sure there's some rich 20-somethings out there who are terrible. I'm sure there's a lot of terrible people in any generation. But why make a movie about the terrible people? I don't know. And I think my biggest issue with this movie was it made me feel old. It made me feel old and out of touch, like the old man yelling at the sky. And it made the kids, it made this generation look terrible. And I realized that maybe it's unfair to say one movie, encompasses an entire generation of people, but I mean, it kind of does. I don't know. Also, they're mostly all rich kids, or upper middle class, I suppose. I don't know about B. I guess she's probably poor, but I don't care about rich people. I don't care about them. I don't care about their problems. I don't care what happens to them. Their problems don't matter to me because they're rich. They are the worst people in the world. They should only be villains, or just, I don't want to hear their stories. We hear more than enough stories about rich people. Tell me some stories about real people with real problems. Stop telling me stories about spoiled rich people. They're not interesting. Again, what was the point of this movie? Why make this movie? Was the point supposed to be like, oh, these people are ugly and terrible, and so they deserve to die, so it'll be fun to watch them die? Cool, but what are you saying about the world? What are you saying about this generation? Are you trying to subvert some kind of ideas? Or what was the point? Who is this for? I don't get it. The ending was a little anticlimactic. Actually, there was only one other person in the theater with me, and afterward I went up to him and I said, hey, what'd you think of the movie? And he said, no, the ending was pretty anticlimactic. So again, spoilers, the ending is revealed that Pete Davidson's character killed himself by accident, trying to do the bottle trick that Lee Pace's character did earlier. And so basically all of this happened for no reason. It just happened because they didn't trust each other and they were stupid, self-absorbed jerks, and that's it. So cool. I actually didn't mind that. I thought that was okay, although it felt a little bit of a cop-out and a little anticlimactic. Thought it was maybe relatively clever, although I wasn't really surprised by it. But okay. There's this character of Max who they keep bringing up, and half the time I'm going, wait, who's Max? Is Max Lee Pace's character? I don't remember who is his back. No, Max is a character who was there the night before, and they don't show him again until the very end of the movie. And they do mention drugs, and I guess he's supposed to be a red herring, and so is Lee Pace's character. And there's multiple red herrings throughout the movie, but like, what was the point of that character? Why have that? And then when he shows up, he's just like, what happened here? Like, there's dead bodies, and I realize it's a black comedy that's supposed to be the humor, but like, if your characters don't even act like human beings, then it takes away from the story itself. There's a Charlie XCX song at the end, which I had heard about, Hot Girl, in here. Again, just terrible, terrible song. She's somebody who I'd heard of, Charlie XCX. I guess maybe this is the first time I've heard her music, but she's apparently a British rapper, I guess. I don't know who wants to listen to that. I don't know who's sitting there going, yeah, I like rap, but I want to hear it with a British accent. Again, old man yelling at the sky here. I don't know. Other than that, the movie was directed by Halina Reijn, I guess is how you say it. This is their second movie. Before this, she did a movie called Instinct, which I have not seen, but it is about a woman who finds herself attracted to the sexual predator that she's counseling in prison. Sounds like a terrible idea for a movie. There could be something interesting there, maybe, but again, why tell that story? Who is that for? What? I don't know. It was written by Sarah DeLapp and Kristen Repenian. Kristen Repenian has one other credit called Cat Person. I haven't seen it. I don't know if it's come out yet or not. And Sarah DeLapp is a Pulitzer Prize finalist. How is the person who wrote this terribly awful movie, how could they have been nominated for the most prestigious writing award in America? I don't understand. It's just like the Tender Bar. That guy won a Pulitzer? Like, how low is the bar for the Pulitzer if this is the kind of garbage that's getting nominated? And of course she wasn't nominated for this, but I don't understand. Like I said, it's supposed to be a horror movie, a black, comedy kind of thing. And I thought of the movie Very Bad Things a lot, which is a movie that came out, around 98 or so, I think. I was 13, 14, 15. 15, I guess, if it was 98. So, yeah, it definitely made me think of that. Again, terrible people, terrible things. But the thing is, at the end of that movie, they dealt with the consequences of their actions. It shows Cameron Diaz, and she's all upset because she has to take care of her husband, who's now like paraplegic or quadriplegic. Like, okay, there's sort of a moral to the story. There's like a meaning. There's something, I don't remember the movie entirely. I haven't seen it since it came out. But this movie, there's no moral. There's no, we don't know what happens at the end. You can assume maybe, but I would assume what happens is these two terrible women just lied about what happened and probably got away with it because the one girl is rich. But yeah, because like I said, Maria Bakalova straight up killed Lee Pace. That's at the very least second-degree murder. And there's no excuse for that. Other than, well, we thought he might have killed our friend. That's not going to hold up in court. And then Amandla, which that's a terrible name. I'm sorry, but like, why would you make your name sound like you have a speech impediment? I don't get that. But anyway, stupid Amandla Stenberg. I'm just saying her name is stupid. She gave her friend the drugs and then she fell down the stairs. That's probably third-degree murder right there. So both of these women deserve to be in jail for at least a couple decades, as far as I'm concerned. And again, we don't see it. We don't know. Maybe that happens. Maybe it doesn't. Who knows? That might have been more interesting. If we would have saw the movie from the perspective of, say, an investigator who's trying to figure out what happened, and then finally, they are held accountable for their crimes, that could have been something. That there would have been a point. There would have been a story. There would have been a moral. But this was just a bunch of crap to happen to a bunch of terrible people. I don't get the point. Another thing about Heathers, of course, is another big black comedy movie. And again, in that movie, at least there was a point of that where JD was sort of this, charismatic character who got you wrapped up and involved in it. And then at the end, you kind of realize how terrible he is, and should have realized sooner, I suppose. But, and they're the people they're killing are bad, and they're also bad, but more interesting, I guess. So, I don't know. These guys aren't Kristen Slater, I guess is what I'm saying, or Winona Ryder either. So yeah, this is, like I said, Disaster Piece did the score. There was one part I kind of liked. Most of it I found really annoying. All of the actual song music throughout the movie I found really, really frustrating and annoying. It's got a really high review. It's like 91% on Rotten Tomatoes, I think. So clearly everyone else likes this. So I am in the minority here. I am wrong. But this is the kind of thing that frustrates me because I think it's absolutely terrible and has very little redeeming qualities, but everyone else thinks it's great. It's like Beyonce or Eminem. It's something that people love, and it makes me feel like an alien. It makes me feel like I just don't understand anybody. So I don't know. If you saw this terrible movie, what did you think of it? Did you like it? Explain to me why you liked it. What does everybody like about this movie? I don't get it. This was legitimately one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10 because I'm feeling generous today. But yeah, not good, not liking it. Disappointed in A24. They clearly aren't the seal of quality that I thought they were. And I'm not looking forward to any more movies from any of these people, except Lee Pace. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a great night, and I will see you here again next week.